Hi guys, welcome to the video. Today I'm just going to do a quick side-by-side comparison as best I can with the brand new 1/18 scale James McFadden Napa Auto Parts Hodges Motorsport 1/18 scale sprint car from Authentic Collectables versus the Acme 1/18 scale of Buddy Kofoid. Yeah, so this is a brand new model out from Authentic Collectables. I purchased this one through Elite Diecast and I couldn't rate them highly enough. The box came packaged so well. It was a big box and everything was just wrapped so well you could have kicked it around and it would have done no damage. So appreciate that from those guys. And this is a limited edition model. This is 166 of 462 Hodges Motorsport. That's a certificate of authenticity. This is one of three new models these guys have brought out. I think this is their first movement into 1/18 scale sprint cars, and so this is the James McFadden one. There's also a Cameron Waters Chief Racing 1/18 scale and a Jason Pride sprint car as well. So obviously James McFadden being the most popular probably Australian sprint car driver of all time, competed on the world stage for many years and was very, very successful. So yeah, arguably our best sprint car export. So I just wanted to go through side by side with the Acme 1/18 scale model because there's a few little differences, and whether that makes any difference to your decision to buy one of these is, debatable. But I just wanted to go through and just show you some of the small differences and what I like and don't like. We'll start off with the wings, and then we'll take the wings off. The wings are plastic, obviously. They're both plastic. That's all cool. My only thing with the Authentic Collectables one is the mounting system. The way it's mounted, it's very similar to the Acme one in the fact that it's got these pins at the front on the halo that the wing just slides back onto, and then it clicks down at the back. But this one is way more sloppy, I would say. The Acme one is, when you put it on, it really clicks down, and then you can literally pick the car up, and that you're not supposed to do this, but you can do it, and it's pretty sturdy. Whereas this one, you twist it and it's off. So this is one thing that I would say going forward, I would love to see them make this, it's only a minor detail, obviously. But yeah, so up in here, there's a slot that hooks on the front of the halo. There's a couple of tabs here on the front, the top bar there. I'll bring it a bit closer. But there's a couple of little tags here, and then you hook it on there and then it clicks on, and there's a slot in the back here that hooks on the back of that bit there. So yeah, if they could tidy that up a bit, all it really needs is this to be a bit tighter together, I think, and then it would sort of click on and hang on a lot better. This is actually pretty cool detail. It's the gas strut for the wing ram that they changed the angle of the rear, the big wing. So that is pretty cool detail. That's something that's not on the Acme models. So I'll put that down. We'll clip the wing off the Acme one if I can get it, because it is, like I say, pretty well clicked on. So you flick that off, and that's that. The wings are both very similar, so not a lot to talk about there. I would say the Acme car is just a little bit heavier, and I would say the reason for that is mostly just because this engine cover is metal, and also the panel under the front wing in front of the engine is also metal. And I can't say for sure, I'm unsure if those side panels, I think they actually might be metal as well. Or they may be plastic, I'm unsure, but tail tank is definitely metal. Whereas this, I feel like that's plastic by the feel of it, but the engine cover and the panel that goes in front of the engine down here under the front wing is definitely plastic. One thing with this is it is a little bit of a squeezy fit for the engine cover, so you've actually got to, because it's made of plastic, you've actually got to kind of squeeze it in to get it to go down into its place. So it's a little bit tricky, and there's a little pin, little tab just above the radiator that lines up a little hole, and then you got to click it down like that. So in my opinion, that the bars here are just a little bit too tight, and then it's just a little bit more of a squeeze to get that out. So minor detail, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's kind of 6 1 half dozen the other, really. That is one thing I know. Yeah, they're definitely steel bars here, so that's cool. These bars, the side crash bars, are plastic. The rear, tank bars are plastic. That's the same on the Acme as well. They're plastic. That's plastic. The steering rod there is plastic. It's plastic on here as well. Yeah, so that's all cool. The one thing I do love is, actually, that's interesting. That back bar has actually come loose. There we go. Let's click back up into position there. That's interesting. That back bar there is plastic. The bar behind the driver's seat, whereas on the Acme one, it's steel. So that feels way more solid than that. That actually, yeah, a bit loose. And the seat itself, I don't know if you can see that, but the seat is actually kind of loose. But the belts do move. Like, you can put your finger in there and the belts move around. But as you can see, the seat is kind of loose. Like, I'm not pushing much pressure on that, and that's moving around. So, but obviously it's mounted in there somehow. But it's got a couple of gauges. You can see on the dash in there. It's kind of cool. The engine detail, I would say, is probably better than the Acme one. This looks pretty cool. Like, it's got the KRE engines mounted on the rocker covers there. There's wires going down through the firewall there, and yeah, there's little wires going around here and there, and they actually move. Like, you can feel them. There's a wire there that's movable. As you can see underneath here, the rotors, brake rotors. The tips of the exhaust pipes have got like a chrome tip on them. It's kind of cool detail. The red wheel nuts, it's pretty cool. And one thing I do like is really sweet is, I don't know if you can see it through there, but you can see FK shocks. So factory cane shocks written on the shock. So that is pretty cool. I like that. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty sweet looking hot rod, let's be honest. And there's only one thing about this one, and I know the right rear tyre is bigger than the left rear, but it seems to make this rock a bit, and I don't know whether it's because it's so accurate to scale that the front left is lower or something, or what, but I do know that the Acme one sits, you know, rock solid. They've just obviously worked it out to make it to just sit nice and flat. So yeah, but there's no markings on the front shocks on the Acme model. So I'll just take this engine cover off. The cover comes off the Acme one so much easier. It just slips out and it's solid metal. And yeah, so look around the engine here. I mean, it is pretty similar, let's be honest. They probably come out of the same factory. So yeah, there's wires in there. One thing I do love about this one is that, and the seatbelts do move in this one, but you've got the Simpson seatbelts in there, and that just looks really cool. Similar gauges on the dash, just a couple of gauges in there. The seat does move a tiny bit, but there's not as much as the Authentic Collectables one. Like I said, these bars are plastic. The wheels, I will say, oh, that's the other one thing that I do think is pretty cool, is the rock screen in front of the driver. I think it might be made of metal because it's got these little straps of steel that go around the side of the roll cage here, and I think they're just actually metal. It's like a little metal grill. It's not plastic, so that is actually pretty cool. They are not like that on the Acme one, obviously, as you can see. So underneath, yeah, like I say, it's got the brake rotors, nothing really marked under there. And what do we got under the bottom of this one? It's just got Acme with a serial number, and yeah, all pretty similar underneath. But yeah, the front bars, the nudge bars, I mean, I know all the Acme ones, there's, you know, a little differences between all of the models, like the door panel, you know, the panel that fills in on the side here, like it is on this one. You know, some of the Acme models have this. Some of them are open like this, like the Kyle Larson, Finley Farms models are always pretty open in here. But yeah, pretty sweet. I mean, all in all, the one little thing that annoys me is the ease of trying to get this engine cover back in. It's just not as easy. The Acme one just you can sort of sit it in like that and it's boom, it's in place. Whereas this, it's just a little bit trickier. You kind of need two hands, because you got to try to clear the radiator to be able to get, maybe there's a way that I'm not aware of that is actually easier. That's probably better. There we go. And at the end of the day, like when it's sitting on your shelf, it's not going to matter if it's made of steel, made of plastic, I guess, you know, like it's a pretty cool looking rig. And regardless of the wing situation, yeah, it's a pretty sweet looking rod. So yeah, the one thing I would say, if they could fix, well not fix, but maybe make the halo slightly bigger, or just, yeah, make it somehow click in a lot easier and a lot more rigid, that would be pretty sweet. But like I say, when it's sitting behind glass on a shelf, you're gonna look at that and go, sweet, that is like such a cool looking rig. So yeah, anyway, that's just my thoughts, and hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, this is not something I do very often, but I just thought it'd be cool to compare the two. side by side, because I've got a couple of Acme models and really do love their quality. But with these guys jumping on board in the market, it's going to be interesting to see what they come up with in the future, and looking forward to seeing what other cars jump on board. So have a great day, guys, and till next time, bye for now.